All right.
What is public education missing? What are we doing that kids aren't getting?
Why is it that Carl Hayden can't score the same scores on the SATs that Brophy or Xavier have?
%90-some-odd of the kids at Carl Hayden are Hispanic. Perhaps 50% or more are undocumented.
Many students, they just don't want to get involved because they don't see the point in it. The most outstanding students who don't have the documentation, they found out they couldn't go to college and they stopped trying and they became like the rest of the students here at Carl Hayden.
So our kids need a way to find a motivational factor to get them to pay attention to education.
Freddie came to me and said, let's start a robotics team. Little did I know that within a month we were immersed in building robotics.
The robotics program here primarily functions as a club. So it's an after-school academic organization designed to stimulate kids in the areas of STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
This program is great, and I think if it wasn't here, I probably wouldn't be involved in academics. I decided I was going to go to college. I wasn't at first, because my main focus was to get out of high school and just get a job. Just get a job and make money here or there, just get by. But I mean, this program changed that.
The kids that are in the robotics club, their attendance rate goes up, their grades go up. They're far more likely to be taking SAT exams and enrolling in the more difficult classes their junior and senior years.
I never really knew, I wanted to go to college, didn't know what I wanted to do. Being involved in that really opened your eyes to the different skill sets that I had.
28 and 25, please go to the pool.
I got hooked on it, after the first year. Even after I graduated, I kept traveling with them to nationals. I mean, I couldn't really see myself doing anything else.
Carl Hayden.
I'm George Stephanopoulos, and this is Nightline. Tonight, these kids were out of their league.
They didn't think we knew what we were talking about.
High school students pitted against one of the best universities in the country.
We have shown that there's an awful lot of kids with an awful lot of academic talent that just given a little nurturing are flourishing.
They give you the idea of, you're a student, you have the same right as everybody else. Freddie and Alan, they put in your mind saying that you have the potential of doing whatever you want. As an alumni, I feel very proud of that because I came from that, and it's like they can use you as an example, and as a college student, I just sort of don't want to let them down. So that's sort of a motivation for me, as well as doing well in school.
Right now, we're just trying to figure out how we want to attach it.
At the competitions, we just see a bunch of different enthusiastic people, and being there, it gives you a challenge, to try to beat everybody else.
We're at the point now where not only do we do the first robotics, but we sponsor and started an underwater competition here in Arizona called NERC.
Kids experience the situations that don't occur in a classroom they can get in a robotics team after school.
Okay, go all the way full speed up.
And the grading is not a teacher who gives you a grade, it's your peers. because they know a good job from a bad job. They know if you put effort into it or not. And all the kids rise up to it. They don't want to let their team down. So they learn that determination, and we've seen that carry over into college.
When you start talking about middle school, high school programs, there's not enough emphasis on the problem solving and the mentoring. And then you see groups out here like Carl Hayden and Nurk, and you see people like Freddie Lajvardi who are out here teaching how to practically apply mathematics. That builds on a future.
You know, learning should be a model or a simulation of what real life is, and that's what we try to simulate on the robotics team.
I think it's a way for everybody to get a chance to see what they can do and what they want to do and what they really want to put their efforts into.
What I've been taught here is you need to learn things for yourself and get it done.
This is where I was educated. Yeah, I went to my math classes, I went to my physics classes, but I was educated in the right direction here in robotics.
This was amazing. We took shy kids who were very happy to get a C in class, whose absence rate might be a little higher than it should be, to becoming really good students.
I think programs like this, it is the answer. I mean, there's a lot of teamwork involved, and it motivates you. It pushes you in the right direction, I'd say.
Freddie and I finally got it. It was like, this isn't the robotics. It isn't we're trying to build a robot that's going to beat everyone else. It's look what it's done to the kids.
We have to take the obstacles out of the way of our students. Being Hispanic in South Phoenix, you have a lot more hurdles to overcome. One, you have the stereotypes that people have of you. Two, you have the socioeconomic pressures of your parents wanting to have you go directly to work because you need to help support the family. You also have the pressure of Hispanic females. It is not seen at all for them to go into science and engineering when they're just as capable. If we take those obstacles out of the way, our students can perform as well as any other students anywhere in the world.
It's the anecdotal stories that are really fantastic.
And I have a student who, her name is Cynthia Boteo.
My name is Cynthia Boteo.
She was another Carl Hayden young lady, eager, very helpful, really got into the robotics.
And she's one of the students whose family didn't think that a girl should be in engineering at all.
Her problem was staying after school. To stay after school, of course, you need your parents' permission, and her father was really reluctant to let her stay after school.
My dad, that was always there, you know, like, no, girls are not supposed to go to school. Girls are not supposed to do this. So I always grew up with that mentality, and I always thought that I could never do anything.
He's a very traditional Hispanic father, and he's watching out after his daughter.
And they thought that her reason for being on the robotics team was to fraternize with the boys and look for a future husband or whatever.
Oh yeah, you're staying after school just hanging out with boys. Yeah, right, you're staying, working on a robot, or yeah, right, you're part of a robotics team. Especially a girl, like, you know. So I'm like, I would always tell them, you know, I am, why don't you come? And they would never go.
Even though the parents could have come up to her anytime, they could have called and checked in, they could have stopped in and seen that she's working on projects, not fraternizing.
After a while, she was allowed to stay after, but her father was very suspicious of her activities and what she was really doing.
And I started staying after school with the robotics team. I became part of the soccer team, and I just became like more like, how can I say, I started seeing things very different. Like, I'm like, you know what, there is a future for me. I can finish school, and being a girl, it's not gonna be a barrier for me.
When she graduated, she entered ASU's, the College of Construction.
And going to college, even though she got scholarships, she was doing well in school. She was in a field that was predominantly men. None of that made any difference to the parents, especially the father. The father still thought that it was a waste of time and that she's not going to amount to anything and just looking for boys.
And it was this time last summer, she was going to get an internship, she'd get paid for it, and she had 4 or 5 possibilities. So she asked her dad if, asked her dad if she could borrow the car because she was going to go to these things. And he goes, yeah, and meet your boyfriend.
My dad, he's all like, no way, you're not gonna go. Yeah, right, you're getting interviewed. Yeah, who's gonna wanna hire you? Like, they didn't believe me.
The father said, well, you're just going out to meet more boys. So she said, why don't you come with me to the job interviews? So he did.
After I took my dad, I took him to the interview, and he saw everything, and you know, my manager, that one that hired me, he went and said hi to him.
The dad's real quiet. He doesn't say a whole bunch of anything driving home. And it wasn't until they got home, he walks up to Cynthia and he says,
I'm not someone to tell you what to do anymore.
Because he now finally realized when someone was actually offering a job that he wasn't even qualified for in construction to his daughter, then it finally clicked.
Coming from my dad, it was like, now you see, now he's like, now he doesn't tell me, but I know he's proud of me.
That just absolutely changed her father, that now she was a sufficient, educated woman who could take care of herself. She wasn't some young lady just flirting with boys trying to get a husband or something like that, that it was the real deal. And in the Hispanic community, that's hard for girls.
I did what I had to do. I finished high school. Now I'm in college. I'm about to finish college. I got my internships. And it's like, it feels so good that, you know, sacrifices and hard work do pay off.
Changing culture is very difficult, but saying it's hard and not doing it is worse. So even if you change one person at a time, you need to take that opportunity, because eventually everyone's going to know a successful Hispanic.